Okay, sure, I finished it, so I can read my.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can hang out.
Yes.
Well,
It was a little confusing.
Yes.
It's gonna be tight, but I think we're gonna be okay.
I may want it back, but let me put it in your hands.
Okay,
Yeah,
Does he?
save your book budget for things that you can't get hold of otherwise.
okay. Sure. Oh. Good to see you again. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
I can drop it off at your office.
Yeah, that'd be great, thank you very
I
much.
made sure of my.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey Jack, how are you?
Good.
Hi Bud.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Yeah, pretty much almost done all that.
Sounds like he was worried about it or something.
Yeah, well, it's been nice. There's been good times and bad times, and now it seems to be going up on the rise a little, so I'd like to see more of that. Yeah. Did you guys want one?
No. Well, initially I did
cable
because
company, right?
I
We
went
together on LinkedIn.
because I was like,
And I can't was your first name.
I did, yeah.
I remember you.
I was terrified of that.
Well, it worked out well.
No, that's not a bad climate, though. I feel like you can kind of get a little bit of both.
it's perfect. I mean, other than your candles. Oh, I
Yeah.
know it.
Actually, this is not my friend.
The air compressor thing, right for women.
Yeah.
Don't or something?
But no,
Yeah,
Nice.
they wanted to do a nice little collaboration.
Yeah.
Their messaging.
weather pattern,
It's
you
worked out
know,
really well.
like a day or two later, you know, so yeah, the smell wasn't like everything.
Yeah, well, you're surrounded by so many beautiful areas there. My sister just moved back to Washington.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she's lonely right now.
Show me around.
Absolutely. That's the best part of it.
But yeah, it's that, yeah. You know, somebody you can go visit.
That's right.
But then they're always busy.
Yeah.
Hi, Russ.
I had to do the walk around too.
I know. I'm on here. Oh, here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're not severe, but you know, these things are when they hit you like all in one week.
Exactly. Like,
Tough to get around.
Yeah, a couple places, a couple times.
My years of work as well as
Okay. Oh, yeah, I already heard about that. Yeah, I'm all set.
Yeah. It'll keep us calm.
I guess so.
As long as it doesn't start doing them.
Yeah, right.
Well, good afternoon. I'd like to call this meeting to order. May we have a roll call of the present FFE board members, which,
Mayor Hopewell,
yes, here.
the city manager Risman.
Here. Thank you. Approval of our minutes from our last meeting. Do you have that?
Would move for approval.
I would support that. In favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
So we get a little tougher than
Yeah, that's the easy stuff right now. So first, let me make a couple comments, and then we'll go about with the regular agenda. I want to welcome everybody to this amazing new journey that we're on. We know that anytime you venture into the realm of change or doing something different, it becomes uncomfortable. And I'm a believer that we have to become comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that is where greatness comes from. This work simply is about how we move this place we all love. That's how simple it is. How we invest and how we resource and how we consider where we want to be and how do we get there and support the vision that has been established by this community to move this community through Imagine Kalamazoo 2025. We anticipate this work will be sustained for years and years to come, so there'll be a Imagine Kalamazoo 2025 and 2035 and 2045 and on and on and on. And if we're serious about that work, if we understand the why of us being at this table, sitting here, then I think we are in the space we need to be in. We are perfectly imperfect as a city, as individuals. But I think that also will help drive us, drive our citizens, support our neighborhoods, allow our staff to be creative and move our city forward. So thank you for entering this journey with us. Thank you for your support that we've had thus far. And thank you for the hard work and the opportunity that will go from here. With that, we need to elect you. So the members that have been nominated from the City Commission are as follows. City Director and ex-official director, myself, Bobby Hopewell. City Director, ex-official director, City Manager Jim Ritsema. City Directors from our City Commission, we have Commissioner David Anderson and Commissioner Jack Urban. At large, again, from the City Commission, at large member, we have Nathan Dennison for a 3-year term. From all the stakeholders, we have from the governance, or excuse me, from the neighborhood section, we have Sandra Calderon.
Whistle.
Say it again.
Whistle.
Whistle. Sorry, I should have practiced that before this meeting. From the arts community, we have Lisa Carroll. Carol. Gosh, I'm messing up already. From healthcare, we have Angela Graham Williams. From a housing sector, we have Jovan Head. From affinity organizations, we have Mia Henry.
I'll take me.
She's pretty impressive, actually. From the business and banking arena, we have Adam McFarland. From our neighborhood, from one of our neighborhoods, we have Barb Miller. Another neighborhood, Alice Taylor. From the education sector, we have Vaughn Washington Jr. And from faith-based organizations, we have Matthew Zellwig. Those are the nominations. Mr. Member, for the Foundation for Excellence, is there a motion?
Yes, I will move that the numbers that you mentioned are elected to the offices of the that were indicated by their position.
I would support that motion. Do you have any discussion?
Are you welcome doing this in terms with that motion?
I'll do as terms as listed in the
Yes.
in the document.
Yep.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Attorneys keeping us. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Congratulations,
Welcome.
folks. You are now on the Foundation for Excellence. We now are to elect our officers. Our officers will serve, a little note for your report, they will serve till our annual meeting in 2019, so April of 2019. We do have technically an annual meeting coming up in April of this year, but we thought maybe that didn't make a lot of sense to have them only serve for 2 months and then have to be re-elected to the positions. So we will entertain motions to start off with for the chair or the president of the Foundation for Excellence. Are there any nominations for chair of the Foundation for president of the Foundation for Excellence?
I'd like to-
Director Miller.
Yeah.
Director. Look around. I'd like to nominate you, Mayor Hopewell.
Second.
We have a motion by, or we have a nomination by Director Miller and Director Washington. Are there any other nominations? We will close the nominations for the President of the Foundation for Excellence, and I will entertain a motion to, do I need a motion to?
No.
No? Okay. Okay.
Motion to vote.
All right, good enough.
Call for vote.
That's what I meant, a vote. I can just call for a vote now. All those in favor of the nomination as it stands, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Motion carries. Thank you. We now have requesting nominations for the office of Vice President of for the Foundation for Excellence. Are there any nominations from the floor?
I'd like to nominate,
Director
Go ahead.
Anderson.
I'd like to nominate
Or
Dr.
Director.
Angela Graham-Williams for the position of Vice President of the Foundation of Excellence for this year.
Support.
We have a nomination and support. I don't hear that individual saying no.
Who was the director that supported?
It was supported by Director Taylor, right? Yeah, I guess we have, that would help. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations from the floor? Hearing none, I will close nomination. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Congratulations. We now are accepting nominations for the secretary for the Foundation for Excellence. Is there a motion from the floor? In the secretary's position, we will have a recording secretary that will handle minutes and all of those nuances.
No.
I'd like to nominate Barbara Miller for the Secretary of the position of Foundation of Excellence, moving forward to the next year.
I'll second that.
We have a nomination from Director Washington, supported by Director Dannison, that Barb Miller be secretary of the Foundation for Excellence. I don't hear her pushing back on that. All those in favor, I'll close the nominations. Oh, unless there's others, sorry. I'll close the nominations. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Congratulations, Madam Secretary. And our final officer requesting final officer nomination for the office of treasurer. Is anyone from the floor that would like to nominate someone to serve as the treasurer of the Foundation for Excellence?
I was
Director
going to
Anderson?
nominate Matt, but he's not here, so.
Well, Director Anderson has a question.
Can we talk a little bit about those responsibilities
Sure.
as well?
Oh, did you want more information about all these positions we're nominating? So in your packet, the treasurer shall have the responsibility for the financial records of the corporation, which shall at all times remain the property of the corporation and be open to inspection by any officer. The treasurer shall be responsible for the receipt, custody, and disbursement of the corporation's funds under procedures, rules, and orders established by the board. The treasurer shall report the financial condition of the corporation at meetings of the board and such other reports as may be directed by the board of directors or the board president as well. The treasurer shall also assist in preparing the report described in section 4.18 that is to be presented at the annual meeting of the board. The treasurer may utilize the services of the City of Kalamazoo's financial director when performing these duties.
Is there a possible
Yeah, I
time for
should have read
discussion?
all of these.
Would this be a time for discussion?
You can certainly.
You were about to mention something about Matthews.
I think Matt would be great at this, but I was also going to ask Adam if you would be willing to take this on out of the gate. Okay. I nominate Adam McFarland.
We have a nomination from Nathan Dennison for Adam McFarland.
I would second that.
Have support. Are there any other nominations? And sorry, folks, I should have read all of these. I guess I was just the commissioners and former commissioners know I like to get through this stuff. So my apologies also to the audience. I should have probably read these, but hopefully they were in your packet as you came in, so you know what all the officers are. Are there any other nominations? I will close the nominations. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Congratulations, Mr. Treasurer. All right. Are there any public comments at this time? Hearing none, we are now at the point of all of you having an opportunity. I'm going to go one by one so that we don't have dead space and allow everyone to start. And I'm going to start with Director Washington.
Just who I am?
Where this is your time.
All right, it'll be brief. Von Washington Jr., I work with the Kalamazoo Promise. Extremely excited about this opportunity to represent not only in the particular sector that is listed as education, but to do anything I can to help be impactful for our community. Extremely pleased and honored to be working with all of you, and just looking forward to the task.
Thank you, Director Washington. Director Urban.
Well, I'm obviously one of the City Commission directors, and coming into this, what I wanted to really do, the area I'm most interested in is being sure that we are transparent and that all of our meetings are open. Even if we have subcommittees and committees, that those meetings are also open, and that we have recorded a written record of what was discussed, not only what was approved, but what things were discussed as well. Because things that don't get approved sometimes are more interesting in terms of how things are going to flow than the things that are approved for later on. I'm very excited about what this possibility offers to the city, but we have to remember that the money isn't in our hands yet, and it has to be still raised. And in order to raise the full amount and the greatest possible amount, we have to demonstrate that we can be trusted. We have to trust each other, and the community has to trust us, and we have to trust them. So my big focus is on building trust and working hard to keep it. That's it.
Thank you, Director Urban. Director Taylor.
I'm just excited to be representing my neighborhood. Looking forward to working with everyone at the table here. It's going to be interesting for me to be in a public setting. So I'm just excited and ready to get to work.
Barb Miller, I'm also excited to work with all of you. It's a really interesting board that we have here, and I look forward to it. Let's go raise $500 million or so.
Director McFarland.
Adam McFarland. I started my business, Kalamazoo Candle Company, here 4.5 years ago, so I'm really appreciative of the opportunity to be a part of here as the business and banking representative, and thankful to all of you to trust in me, the treasurer position. Very much looking forward to conversations where we don't disagree, or we don't agree on everything, but we do have disagreement, and finding that place where we can find what's best for Kalamazoo.
Thank you. Director Henry.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mia Henry. I work at the Arca Center for Social Justice Leadership at Kalamazoo College. I approach that work and all of the work that I do, including this, which I'm very honored to be a part of, as someone who is accountable and responsible not just to the people of Kalamazoo, but also my ancestors and my descendants. And so I will definitely be bringing all of that level of responsibility to all of the contributions I make, and I also want to echo how much I believe we have to build trust as well amongst one another, and that really does take us bringing our whole selves to the space in an authentic way every time. So looking forward to having this be an opportunity for there to be true justice and really raising the standard of living for everybody in the city, every single one. So thanks.
Thank you, Director Henry. Madam Vice Chair.
I am Dr. Angela Graham-Williams, Executive Director of Care Integration at the Family Health Center. I'm also a classically trained ballerina. I think that makes my vantage point unique as I work with youth in different populations. I have an affinity for not just social justice and healing disparities, but doing so in non-traditional ways. And so I'm really excited, humbled, and honored to be sitting here in this space with you all and looking so forward to the change that I know that we'll make in this community.
Chair, Director Dennison.
My name is Nathan Dennison. I'm one of the pastors at the Congregational Church. I do a lot of different stuff in the city. I'm the president of the Kalamazoo Nonprofit Advocacy Coalition, and I'm the vice chair of the Police Oversight Board and a couple other things. My partner and I live in a renovated house in the Vine neighborhood. I'm happy to be here as the at-large city director to represent the people of the city of Kalamazoo, to make sure that their voices are heard and that their interests are forefront in the work of the board. So I think this is going to be absolutely amazing work, and I love raising money. I have a passion for that, so that's something that I'm looking forward to this being here at this phase.
Awesome.
Director Carroll.
Hi, I'm Elisa Carroll, and I'm with the Gilmore Keyboard Festival. I'm representing the arts sector and look forward to also representing the public. I take public service very seriously and have previously worked for a city in Virginia. But Kalamazoo is my original home, and I returned here about 5.5 years ago. So this is such an incredible opportunity for our community, and I'm really thrilled to be a part of it. And I take this responsibility very seriously, and look forward to getting to know all of you and learning more about our community.
Thank you. Director Calderon.
Hi. Well, it's always hard to be the last person, but it was really nice to be able to hear everything that everyone had to say. Obviously, we're all very excited, and this is something new to me. However, I have been part of other community events and community organizations throughout the years. Currently, I am the Public Relations Director for Despierta Kalamazoo. And I am just very impressed and also honored to be part of a group with so many different educated and experienced people with great intentions. And trust is definitely key, and I'm very, very glad that you brought that up. And I look forward to getting to know a little bit more about what everybody's going to bring to the table as well. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Madam Director. Director Anderson.
So I'll save from the last person thing. I'll be the last person.
Actually, you won't be.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Okay.
Pass it on.
Good point. Okay, so I just want to say a couple things. First of all, I just want to recognize the fact that it was easier for me to get on this board. It was a simple vote that happened one night. And everyone here went through a very extensive process, an application process, which involved a ton of it. And that took a lot of intent, a lot of energy, and I really appreciate that people stepped up to do that. Not the least of which was our at-large person, who we made, for some reason, jump through additional hoops of fire to get on this board, public interviews, all that sort of business. So I guess the rest of you can feel a little that you were saved that opportunity. So anyway, that's pretty impressive, and I want to recognize that for sure, for everybody who went through that. And in addition to that, all of us should remember that I think, was it 140 folks who showed interest, who turned in applications, went through the process, both at large and through the Kalamazoo Community Foundation. So there's a ton of folks there who also cared enough about the city and felt like they had something to offer, who didn't get selected this time. And I want to recognize all those folks that went through all that process as well. Lastly, there were a bunch of community volunteers that stepped forward, who we mostly don't know who they are, who did this vetting process. with the leadership of the Kalamazoo Community Foundation. I felt like they did a fantastic job. I want to recognize them. But all the volunteers who didn't apply themselves, who participated in trying to do this agonizing work of saying, who should this first crew be? And I think they did a fantastic job. Super impressive to have this group of people come in front of us, with Carrie's presentation from the Community Foundation. So that part was fantastic. It's, as far as this work goes, maybe those of us on the commission have been thinking about it a little longer than maybe some folks here, because, we kind of just we got to be there for like the gleam in the eye part before it, came to initial, kind of conceptual fruition, and we've worked our way up to this point. But, that all said, we are in my mind, we're in like uncharted territory here. And this is, not only for Kalamazoo, but this is maybe an example of something that other communities might look at around the country for how a model like this can help. It seems like, we have the horrible, national grief, about what happened yesterday in Florida. Just our political and our community climate just seems on edge and up in the air, and I think all of us have those general worries about all that. And this is an opportunity for us to think very intentionally about what we want our community to be like. And that is, an unbelievable opportunity for us to get to do that together. And we don't really know how we're going to do this exactly. So I'm just hoping, I guess, repeating what other people have said, that we approach this work together with goodwill and with good humor and with good judgment and prudence together. We are, we're still building this thing now. It's not set for us. And recognize kind of the gravity of this work that we are embarking on. And, recognize this day, I guess, is the beginning of that. February 15th, 2018. Here we go.
Thank you, Mr. Director.
Hello, I'm Jim Ritzma, City Manager, and as one of the founding incorporators of this organization, along with the mayor, I want to welcome you. And again, like Commissioner Anderson said, or Director Anderson, it's amazing that we're here. This is an incredible time for Kalamazoo that we're at this point when this was words on a piece of paper a couple years ago. And today we're sitting here with all 15 of us. Again, the work is going to be incredible that we're going to be doing. Look forward to working with all of you. And I want to take time to thank Steve Brown and Laura Lamb. You'll get to know them quite well. Steve put this all together and set the table tents up and everything and the binders. So I just want to notice their work. So thank you.
Thank you. Before I make my comments, I'm going to have Mr. Brown come forward and just give you some information regarding orientation. I think that give an update on that and any other work that's gone on so far at the foundation that might be relevant before we leave this room. Good afternoon, Mr. Brown.
Steve Brown. I'm the coordinator for the foundation. I work with Assistant City Manager Laura Lamb, and we're city staff assigned to the foundation, so we'll be part of your team, really for your whole tenure on the board of directors. Next Tuesday, we'll start with the orientation process. We realize it's very unique. We're starting a board from scratch with 15 members, some of whom are very intimate with city operations, some of whom aren't. So we're just going to really cover everything from policies to bylaws to founding documents to Open Meeting Act. This foundation is unusual compared to others in that it is subject to open meetings. There really is no confidentiality that a normal foundation would have since we support the city. Attorney Robinson will give some presentations that will help us all understand that. So we'll just go through the nitty-gritty of what it means to be on the board, and then also kind of get to know each other as a team, because we're going to be meeting each other throughout the year, and we want to make sure that as we come together, we're not just sort of faces in a crowd, and we can really build working relationships together. So that'll be Tuesday and Wednesday. You have all that information by email. The binders should contain really everything that anybody needs to walk through these orientation processes. If I can just draw your attention to two things right off the top. There are the two first forms in the binders. The first is just something that you should sign so that you can have a city email. It's just a simple disclaimer so that you can have access to a city email so that we can all communicate that way. And the second is a meeting schedule. Please have a look at that between now and the orientation meetings so that we can sort of get aligned for what might work for an annual meeting. With 15 people, we realize we may have to come back several times to look at different dates that work or don't work. But we want to get started now since we know everybody's very busy with the professional life.
Where are those forms located in the binder?
The very first ones. So there's the schedule right there.
Good.
And then the second one should be get it going. And lastly, we're thrilled that this is all coming to be. We've been hard at work for a year. I don't know if HT on Laurel Land
Well, we're looking forward to a lot of conversations this week, a lot of conversations throughout the year. Look forward to working with you all.
Thank you both. Thank you for your work thus far. I also want to give our recording secretary and the city attorney an opportunity to introduce himself for those of you that don't know him and give him a moment to say a few words if he'd like.
Clyde Robinson, city attorney. Much like Ms. Carroll, I grew up in Kalamazoo, was educated through Kalamazoo Public Schools, graduated from Kalamazoo Central, Western, then went to law school at U of M and started working for the city of Battle Creek as an attorney. Worked there for 28 years, but then I had an opportunity to return home, if you will, and have enjoyed every minute of coming back to Kalamazoo and being part of this vibrant community and the changes that have occurred when I left in the I guess late 70s, early 80s, and coming back. So I've enjoyed working with staff and the commission, and I'm looking forward to working with this group of people in what has been already indicated as an exciting opportunity. However, my primary goal is to represent the city of Kalamazoo. I'm only an interim, and the board is free to get rid of me and hire its own attorney. That's fine. It would not offend me, but on the other hand, that means you're going to have to pay somebody, right? I work cheap.
Thank you. Just to wrap us up, first to our staff that's been working this work for over a year. Not just this work for the Foundation for Excellence, but the Imagine Kalamazoo process and all of that. Just thank you for all of your energy and effort, time, all the directors, all the assistant city managers, deputy city managers, and staff of the city of Kalamazoo, because the product that we have that you get to support is an amazing product, an amazing strategic vision for our city. And it's important that we do recognize that this is a supporting organization of the city. It's not our job as this board to run the city. It's not our job as this board to set the priorities for the city. Citizens of Kalamazoo, through our elected process, have elected 7 individuals who are assigned to appointing staff to really drive the strategies and goals and opportunities to move our city forward in partnership with others. But their responsibility and the commission's responsibility is really moving the priorities that come through our number one tool, which is the city's budget. What we get to do as a foundation board is support that work and ensure that that work is representative of Imagine Kalamazoo. That's what we're supporting. We get to sit here and look at things that come before us as proposals come from the city and say, well, that meets the measure of Imagine Kalamazoo, or it doesn't. We don't have the opportunity to say, you need to go forth and do this and that. That's not what we're for. We're for it to say, Imagine Kalamazoo, this is what it says. How does it meet this? And that will be the interesting fun that we will have, determining that. And I look forward to all of the discussions and opportunities to do that work. And then finally, I want to say, though, that this meeting was short and pretty much housekeeping items, this is the beginning, and everything starts somewhere. And the beginning, starting off, is how you move on a journey is often, as you started, is often how well it ends up. And I think we're in a good space. I was so excited to receive all the names of individuals that were going to be serving. Some names I've known for many years and have had friendships with. Some names that I've been really proud of watching from the distance. The vice chair, I've not known her very well, but I've heard so much. And being I'm a healthcare guy, the work that you do is so important. And I just appreciate you more than I can say. And individuals that I barely met ever, or your names, can't even pronounce some names. Excited to have you here at this table. I love the creative side, creators that are making products that make us feel good about who we are and where we are, and then individuals from our neighborhoods. That's the voice, and we will again be perfectly imperfect. We will, and no one can represent every voice in our city. I've tried that for 15 years, holy crap. And all we can do is use our hearts and souls and our learnings and skills and talents to find ways to support Imagine Kalamazoo and the vision that we have for our city. That's the work. It sounds simple. It may not be as simple. We know that dollars will be raised in different ways. I hope there's groups out there saying, hey, let's get together as our church group, let's get together as our ladies group, and the group sends us $1,000 check, and I don't even care who you are. Thank you very much. If you're part of this community and you want to find a way to support our organization, feel free to invest and feel free to be a part of. We hope to leverage these dollars. We've already started that work with work that we're going to be doing with LISC, Local Initiative Support Corporation, around affordable housing and entrepreneurial or economic development opportunities that we may be leveraged to $20 million with our investment, and maybe even more. We wouldn't have had this opportunity if this foundation weren't in place. And I don't know how LISC has raised their money over the years. I don't know anything about that. Just like the Community Foundation, some of us have probably given to funds or given something to the Community Foundation, and we know it was started by W.E. Upjohn, but I don't know where every dollar came from. But the guardians of those dollars and the guardians of our community have said, hey, we need to invest it in this way. The guardians at LISC, us being the smallest local initiative support corporation in the nation, we're smart enough to say, hey, we should invest in Kalamazoo. And maybe Rockefeller gave the LISC in the day. I don't know, but I'm glad they did. And what an amazing time for all of us. So thank you for being willing to take your time and your energy. You could be anywhere else. In the sunshine. You're here today because, the sun's always shining on Kalamazoo, whether the clouds are there or not.
Yes.
So I look forward to the work. We are adjourned.
Thank you. Steve.
Oh, thank you.